Patrick had feeling, Spiritus Sancti.
listening to the RMPodcast, the official podcast of Red Moon Productions. Here are your hosts, Brandon Davidson, Keith Cheatham, and Sean Sebastian. Enjoy.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Red Moon Podcast. Another fine week here on the show, live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Thank you for joining us. I am one of your hosts, Brandon Davidson, alongside our normal new host, Sean Sebastian. And he's here.
I'm
Only
always
for like
here.
2 more weeks.
Two more weeks.
You're on vacay.
No,
This week and next week.
This week.
I'm
Well,
counting.
if you,
We just started the
I
show.
I don't ever include the day I'm in. That's asinine.
Wow, that's sad. It's
This
like this
day's
day
done.
doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
It's not over yet,
It's
though.
not over. You got
I don't-
several hours. You got this whole hour.
I don't say I have like 5 more days and include this day. Includes
I'm sorry.
tomorrow's
Oh,
the first day.
I apologize.
Yeah.
No, hey, you let it out.
Hey, I got
You
my
let it out.
I got
Well,
my
that puts me
keyboard.
1 more day closer
I
to
got
the
my
weekend.
keyboard set up with red, white, and blue right now.
I see it.
America, happy
Pretty cool.
Independence Day,
America, F yeah.
Yeah.
you can say it.
No, you can't.
No.
I'm just trying to get you to
I
slip.
know he wants he wants
Like
me to
all
drop
of us
mine.
have.
There's
We've
been
all
2 on the
slipped.
show so far. He's wanting that third.
Whoops.
Mm.
I'm gonna go home and watch that movie now.
Yep.
It's a good
Team
one. Isn't that
America, World
HBO?
Police.
Would that be on there? Which one is that on? Is that on a streaming
I don't
service
know.
right
Don't
now?
trust Keith about HBO because he just doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
I'm trying to think.
He told me
Furious.
all the
that
Fast
Furious
No, no,
Furious were on there.
Brandon said he thought they were, and
I
I
thought
agreed
they
because
were.
I saw one on there, but apparently it's only that one.
You concurred. No, they're the Too Fast and Too
Oh, there's
Furious
2
is
of them
on
on there.
too.
Well, they
Okay.
aren't Warner Brothers owned; they're Universal owned, so it would make
Oh.
more sense for them to be on Peacock, but they're not on Peacock either. So
You know what is on Peacock?
Team America, I think, is Paramount, so it might be on Paramount Plus, but it probably isn't. I'm just going by what studio owns what streaming company.
You know what? Here's the thing. You would think that Bond and Rocky would soon be on Amazon,
Yeah,
but maybe not. Looks like they've got a longer road ahead than anybody imagined.
Yep.
well, that's what happens when you constantly shortcut. Take every government loophole you can, and they're just like, "Listen, you're getting a little bigger for
Listen,
your britches."
Linda.
I was
Listen,
like,
Jeff.
My
Yeah.
uncle used to say to my Aunt Linda.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Linda,
Yep. That's how it goes.
you can't use that printer because it's with an Apple. You got to use an Apple printer. And I'm like,
They don't make an Apple
doesn't
printer.
make Apple.
Yeah.
I didn't say nothing. I didn't get in the middle of it.
Yeah.
But that was my beloved
Only
aunt and uncle.
Apple products work with Apple computers.
they did. There was a Macintosh printer.
no.
I will say that.
Way back.
Way back.
Wasn't that like a laser jet? I don't know. That's getting into
It was the
weeds.
first
laser.
laser jet printer, I think.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, but they had the
Technology.
old, they had one of those old
Amazing.
printers with the, where the paper had the pinholes on the side. And
Yes.
yeah,
Oh,
they had
man.
a printer like that.
That was back. That
I'm
was
gonna watch
back in-
Jaws for the 4th too,
Yeah.
because
That's a
that's
good
always
one.
a good
We were
one.
talking about that earlier. It
Oh,
does make you
man.
want to watch it.
It's a good. See, what 4th of July movies are there? Jaws is one.
Independence Day.
Independence
I mean,
Day.
that's a
Day.
given.
Born on the 4th of
July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm gonna watch Independence Day and Jaws.
Jinx.
Yo and McCoke.
I don't care about Born on the 4th of July.
What?
I know.
I actually have never
Oliver
seen
Stone, man.
That's why I don't care
That's-
about it.
That's one reason to care a little less. I'll say that.
It's a good movie.
I actually like the one movie of his that probably nobody likes. Everybody thought
Wall Street.
no.
Yeah,
I would say that's actually hailed.
I know, that's a
critically and,
huge
it's not a
critical
bad
Tom
movie.
Cruise got an award for that.
Yeah, that's another
He got an
reason.
Academy Award for that.
No,
Pretty
did
sure.
I
Here's
thought
the
he got
thing.
nominated.
Did he get-
hasn't-
I thought he
I don't
won.
think he won.
As much,
Did he win? For
I don't
that?
think he did, but I know. Yeah.
I have to look that up. During
Here's the
review.
thing that aggravates me about Tom Cruise, though. I can't stand him, but he does make good movies.
No,
and
I
it
agree.
drives- it's like
Some
Mission
of them are
Impossible.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top Gun, Mission Impossible,
Yeah.
Risky
Days
Business.
of Thunder.
Days
Yeah,
of Thunder.
Risky Business,
Jerry
that's a good one.
Maguire. I'm like, he gets on my nerves, but he makes good movies.
He's a good actor.
He makes the
Yeah.
Quan.
Yeah,
he
he
makes the
Quan.
Quan. Show him the money. I'm telling you, I do every time he's in the box office. But I'm a little. It's funny because it was kind of late breaking news tonight about the Amazon deal maybe not going forward. There's 2 paths. I just want to get this out there because it's really not one of our headlines tonight.
Mhm.
And
We're
they
not gonna do a
chose
deep
the
dive.
path least traveled.
which is good for maybe consumers, because the fact is there's a path through the Justice Department for this merger to go through, or the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, and most of the time, like you were saying, they kind of pigeonhole themselves to where their lawyers can get them in front of the Justice Department, which is a much simpler process, and usually pretty much a little bit more lax in allowing these things to go through. And it's looking like the new leader of the FTC has a hard-on, even though she's a woman, which that's possible these days.
It is, yeah.
That's perfectly okay.
She's not fond of Amazon
She's
or
not.
Bezos
or big business.
or big tech, big business.
Yeah.
And she's kind of like, I think Amazon's got too many hands in the cookie jar.
And so she's looking like they're going to go in front of the FTC, which is going to make
Where was
them-
she when
Yeah.
Disney and Fox and Star Wars all happened?
Well, that's
you know?
okay. Disney's a family company. They wouldn't hurt anybody.
They took the slave out of the slave one.
I was going to
Yeah.
mention that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
How's that feel, Star Wars fans?
I
Don't
mean,
you just love
Hey,
where Disney's
I
at?
give it to the actor who's standing up for it. He's,
Yeah.
he's the guy
The
who played
original Boba Fett.
He
Yeah.
said it'll always be Slave One.
Well, it will be, and it's kind of dumb because it's not like he's a heroic character. I mean, he's a bounty hunter, and I mean, Anakin was a slave.
Well,
Slavery
and here's the
exists
thing.
in the Star
Yeah.
Wars universe.
If we're
So are
gonna
they
get-
gonna?
they
are
don't
they
paint
gonna-
it. They don't paint it as a good thing.
Are they going to rewrite history books and call them just ships instead of slave ships?
Well,
I
no,
mean,
no.
what-
Here. Okay, this is the funny thing. Literally, before every piece of Star Wars, it says in a galaxy far, far away. So now we're not only worried about
It's a piece of
censoring
fiction.
or taking, rewriting history in our own history books. We got to do it in mythological,
Far, far away.
far, far away galaxies. We got to go all the way to other galaxies
Yeah.
and stop the spread of racism.
Well.
Because it means the same there, where there's literally a myriad of races beyond just the color of people's skins.
It happens.
So it is kind of funny that I'm with you all. I don't think it's going to change. I mean, Star Wars fans are diehard.
It's
It's literally only for PR purposes that they're
it's
putting this
mostly
out there.
on like toy promotional stuff. Like the thing that they took it off of was the Lego set. It's now Boba Fett's starship. And it's like it's still stupid. It's like, well, we don't want to tell children that it's called the Slave One. Why? Because you don't want to teach children that slavery's wrong? Like, I don't. Just because it's called the Slave One doesn't mean that we're like promoting slavery.
it. Exactly. You have to look at, again, it's all about context. You have to look at it within context. And again, it's a freaking fake fictional show.
I know.
It's a fictional
I know.
movie, a fictional galaxy. These things don't exist. There is no real Boba Fett. There is no real Slave One. It's ridiculous.
Killing me, Smalls.
Exactly.
Yep.
See, we don't need new ones. We just got to use those at the right time.
I need the Anakin now. I need it.
Yeah, but in this case, it wouldn't have been working.
Are you an angel?
I will. I'm going to start putting them all in there except that
I
one.
want all of Anakin's. I want older Anakin's. It's like, I hate sand. It's coarse.
Gets
rough.
everywhere.
Gets everywhere. Not like here. Smooth.
So messed up.
Alrighty, guys, we got a great show. We, of course, want to wish everybody a happy Independence Day because, yes, that is Sunday.
Yep.
So we'll be seeing you after the holiday. So have a good time shooting off fireworks, enjoying hopefully time with your family and your friends, and shooting off for glory and freedom.
God and country.
God and country, baby. I'll be shooting watermelons with guns
Oh.
that have sparklers in them. It's going to be great.
Wow.
I think we're going to put some of that on our Instagram.
Nice.
'Cause you know what? Freedom.
Which I want to share this. I was going to text it to you all, and I forgot to, but it was hilarious. It was a meme I saw. And since it's the 4th of July, I find it appropriate. They're talking about the fact that the Capitol building in California for the first time is flying the pride flag.
This is great.
And yeah, the meme I saw like mentions like that. They said, "Oh, that's
It's not just the pride flag. There's like it's like the pride
well, no,
flag,
it's just
the
the
Black
American.
Lives
No,
Matter
They
flag.
only have the pride. No, they only
I
have the
saw
pride.
like 3 or 4.
No,
of them.
that's what the meme points out. So they have the pride flag with the American flag and the state flag, and the meme says, "You know what? It's like it's good they have the pride flag, but they also need the Black Lives Matter
BLM,
flag
yeah.
and Asian flag. They need flags that represent everything. Wouldn't it be great if we had a flag that represented everybody and the fact that we're free?" And I was like,
Yeah.
it was so perfect. It's like, it'd be great.
Wouldn't it be great if we had a flag that represented life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness?
Oh, that's
And I
not the
was
one.
like,
Yeah, it's.
Wow.
I think it was Andy Steele, one of our buddies from
Oh, really?
high school. Who
Yes,
posted
it's where I got
Yes,
it from,
he
but I was
shared it.
pulling it up. Well,
Yeah.
not on here because
You can find it after we get
iPad
into our
Steve.
review, because we wanna talk about the cinema is back. this week, and one we've talked about this for weeks on end.
That's what it is.
It
It says, man, if only we had one flag that stood for freedom, liberty, and justice for all.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Straight from the pledge, baby. That's it. Gotta love
right
it.
there. Look at it.
Look at it.
We have it here on the Red Moon podcast.
You know what
every single
freedoms and liberties give us? They give us rocket-powered cars
week. Damn right.
and
Hell yeah.
explosions.
Yeah, hey,
And most of all,
Tyrese Gibson said
family.
it himself. We went from the ghetto to space.
Space.
One of the best lines in the movie.
Yeah.
He very pointedly made that
I believe Tyrese.
a declaration in this film. It was fantastic.
He's always contributed a bit.
He had
for
all
us.
the lines. Like, he has all the best lines. in the
He
movie.
normally does.
He does. He usually has the worst in terms of
But
even
that's why
delivery.
they're
Yeah.
the best.
But
though.
no. This one I actually feel like he kind of carried it in the sense that they gave it all to him, but he pulled it off.
Oh yeah.
But why don't we just talk about the movie in general?
Sure.
Yeah.
Because here's our overall thoughts of, well, it's not even Furious or Fast.
F9.
It's just F9.
Yeah.
Let's get into the review of F9.
Vroom, vroom, bitches. It's me again, Tyrese Gibson. We gonna go to the moon. We shoot ourselves into space. We gonna fly and play with magnets, cause it's Fast and the Furious. I get hungry and I get made fun of, but this time around, I'm invincible. Ain't nobody shooting me down. That's for sure, bitches. But that's okay, cause you gonna go see our movie anyway. It doesn't have to make sense. That's physics. We got the family, and we're gonna blow some shit up in here. Go see the movie. You're gonna love it. F9. It's for the family. Blockbusters are back. With the release of F9, the ninth film in the main Fast and the Furious franchise, Hollywood and cinemas have seen a massive boom with one of the most popular action franchises, leaving previous box office openings during the pandemic in its dust. 10 films into the series, including spin-off Hobbs and Shaw, how does the Fast and the Furious franchise's latest outing fare compared to its predecessors? Is it worth viewing, or has the franchise finally run out of steam and jumped the shark? Or perhaps, in this film's case, jumped the moon. Returning to the director's chair after sitting the last two films out, Justin Lin brings back some self-referential humor alongside actor Sung Kang, whom has appeared in most of Lin's films and every Fast and the Furious directed by him. But how did Han survive? The key revolves around Mr. Nobody, again played by Kurt Russell, and Jacob Toretto, the previously unheard-of brother of Dom, portrayed by John Cena. When Jacob extracts Cypher, again played by Charlize Theron, from the custody of Mr. Nobody, it is up to Dom, reprised by Vin Diesel, and the whole Furious crew to stop Jacob before he destroys the whole world order, and Cypher can get away. Yes, it's high stakes, fast cars, hijinks, and bikinis all around, as only Fast and the Furious can do. The film descends even further into mindless action and nonsensical plot lines, though it is fun to see most of the main crew together again, sans Paul Walker's Brian. Though fans can be assured the character is not forgotten. Again, the film's premises centers on family and what that means for the crew. And the movie is ultimately a fun ride, if not as well polished as its previous entries. In fact, Lin's return is what disappoints most about the film, as the movie feels more akin to the entries he didn't direct than to the ones he previously had a hand in. The action is fun and over the top, but sometimes too much so. And while this film offers plenty of moments where characters make fun of themselves, the plot or the impossible nature of the stunts they pull off, even these tongue-in-cheek moments aren't enough to excuse some of the truly stupid scenarios displayed on film. Each set piece is over the top, but with the movie's attempts to be bigger, faster, and furiouser than what came before, what once was the crux of these films now feels glossed over, with less attention paid to each set piece in order to deliver the next big set piece as fast as possible. As promised, yes, this film does take our heroes into space, in what could be the dumbest or most brilliant act of the entire saga. And while there is plenty of humor to be had with this gag, it does feel like something that could have been pulled off better if, again, the usual attention to detail Lin previously gave set pieces in the other movies had been given to this scene. Ultimately, F9 is a fun film that is worth a watch, though it feels like a stopgap between the last entries and the final two now being filmed back-to-back. The movie is fine, but doesn't really add anything to the franchise other than Dom's brother, who doesn't feel like a necessary addition and more like a poor replacement for the now absent Brian, though the final two films could change this. At the end of the day, F9 is one of the weaker points in the series, but it's still fun enough to keep me invested in seeing this franchise through despite its ever-growing flaws. The series has run its course, and it's obvious that it's time to let it end. Here's hoping Justin Lin can deliver a more satisfying conclusion in the final two films. I give F9 2 out of 4 stars.
Well, we want to thank our wonderful guest reviewer there, Tyrese Gibson. Thank you again.
He always comes
Tyrese.
through for us.
He does.
Yeah.
Every single, I think, Fast and the Furious review we've
Except
done.
for Hobbs and Shaw, but that's understandable.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He wasn't in it.
he
Plus,
wasn't in it.
he had some beef between him and The Rock.
Yeah.
You know, so
And best, we thought it best not to
Mm.
ruffle any feathers.
Mm.
But we want to thank Tyrese, for coming through for us, just getting that last little bit of review in there.
Yep.
He gave us his opinions. He loved the film.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, he
He's
loved it.
definitely more enthusiastic about it than
I
we
mean,
are.
don't get me wrong. I know I gave it 2 stars, which people are like, that's a low rating. It is a low rating because it's a dumbass movie. But it was fun. Like, I don't hate the movie. I will watch
It's
it again.
entertaining.
It is
Absolutely.
a lot of fun. But it has no like what little bit of logic was left in the Fast and the Furious franchise
gone.
is now gone.
It's
There's
completely gone.
Yeah.
nothing makes sense anymore.
There's no
Yeah.
hope. It can't be salvaged with this. This is the definition of a popcorn flick.
Yes.
And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
glad for all the
Yeah,
success.
you choke on it though. Laughing. You like
yeah,
choke
true.
on your popcorn.
Every time you take a bite, you're just like immediately you have to spit it out because
Yeah.
of what's coming on screen.
Right.
It just you just and for me, and I mentioned it in the review, and it's something that you had also mentioned before, is for me at least in the previous films, especially coming from Justin Lin, what disappointed me is that
Yeah.
there's a lot of attention to detail in the movies he made, the Furious movies he made before, to the set pieces. So even when they were ridiculous, you could kind of buy into them and like, yeah, this is stupid, but I could see like the thought behind it. In this one, I felt like even though Justin Lin came back and made this movie, it still felt more like the last two than his previous outings, in that it didn't have any of that logic
Well,
or
he
any
was the
of
one
that
that kind of
attention to detail.
brought it back on track with he did Fast 5, correct?
Yes,
and Fast 5
he
to
did.
me,
Well,
I
he
think
did
is
Tokyo
still-
Drift all the way through 6.
Oh wow! Okay,
Oh, I
never
didn't
mind
know that.
I
Yeah.
forgot that.
He did Tokyo Drift 4.
kinda drifted off.
Yeah, I didn't like Tokyo.
Well,
Drift.
Tokyo
Yeah.
Drift isn't a bad movie. It just the problem with it is like when you get into the fact that none of the previous cast came back,
Right.
and it was kind of felt like a separate movie.
Yeah, it's like season 3 of The Crown.
Yeah. or it's like Halloween 3, you know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Season of the Witch.
Witch,
It's like,
yeah.
wait, where's Michael? Huh?
But
This isn't Halloween.
Fast and Furious, which was the 4th one, actually was the one that people were like, oh, this actually seems kind of good again. And then the 5th one was the one that really springboarded it into being the huge
Family.
blockbuster franchise.
That's when it all became about family.
Yeah.
And
And it was good.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it did a good job of making it about that.
Yes.
But then it just spiraled out of control from there.
No doubt. And each one since then has been about how ridiculous and what set piece can we go that's bigger and better than
Right.
the last.
I mean, it's like Sharknado.
Yes.
It
It's
really
like
has
the first one. You're kind of like, okay,
You
I
get the
guess a
joke.
tornado could pick up some sharks.
No.
But then it's like now they're in space.
yeah.
You know, and so is Fast and,
and
the
now they're in
Furious.
space, which I
Yeah.
don't think anybody doubted they would eventually get there.
Well, we had
Where are
one,
they going
We
next?
had one more
Underwater?
movie to match up with Jason X.
Yeah.
Really, they should have gone to space in the 10th one. But we all walked out of the
Well, they got to
theater.
go to the Mariana Trench.
That's what I'm saying. They need to go
They gotta
underwater.
Go deep sea.
Yeah.
James Cameron's down there.
See, I think it'd be freaking hilarious if they even played off of that and they had like some underwater submarine made by Ferrari.
Yeah.
And they're going, and then they go past the submarine, and it's James Cameron, and he's like,
No,
like sees them go by. That'd be great.
he would do it.
Yeah, and
No,
Tyrese would just be like, "Hey, that's the Titanic." So he'd say something stupid, you know?
He'd be like, "Man, the only other person been down here is James Cameron. We discovered
Jack.
it."
Hey, I just saw Jack. That's what he would
God's
say. It'd be
sake.
such a terrible line.
He would.
Like, there's the heart of the ocean. Or
that
whatever
would be
it's called.
good.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's it. I can see that.
We just wrote the 10th film.
Yeah.
Fast and the Furious.
Right there. Now we
mean,
just
yeah.
got to throw in some races and explosions, and that's it. That's the
Well,
whole
we
movie.
literally need something to explode underwater, and then they still survive.
Oh yeah.
Even with all that pressure.
Well,
there's-
everything.
They're not going to die.
And that's one thing. There were moments in this movie I appreciated it where they did the tongue-in-cheek thing and they made fun of the fact that they never die during
Right.
these times. Or my favorite was when Vin Diesel jumps off of the bridge onto the back of this van that the other crew are driving, but he has no way of knowing they're in there. Brandon's like, "Well, that's a complete coincidence." But when he gets in the van and sees everybody there, they all just shut up and look at each other for a minute and they're like, "All right,
wait.
let's keep."
Yeah,
and it was
and I thought
hilarious.
that was good.
And that was really well done because it was a way
That was a
of being
perfect
like.
Justin Lin touch.
Yeah, we know that this is just mere coincidence that he would jump on the same car,
Yeah.
but we're gonna make a joke about it.
And not only that, but it's like we have to bring them back together. Oh, this is how we'll do it.
Yeah.
But then
and they'll be unsuspecting.
Yes.
And I thought,
And
yeah, that paid off
was well done. But then there's the moments where it gets so over the top that all they can do is be like, "Yeah, well, we just can't die." And it's like, okay, now it's just getting old because
Yeah.
we get the joke that no matter what you do, you're just gonna come out unscathed.
Well, even the joke about that when Tyrese Gibson is like talking about how he's got bullet holes in his
Yeah.
jacket, and the other guy, which I can't remember his name.
now that one was good the first time they did it. Ludacris.
You thought that was good?
Yeah,
like
when
I was
he-
like that was
I
way
did.
drawn out. Like that
No,
was
I
way
thought it
too
was-
long.
Are you
It's
talking
like,
about when they first meet up and it's a
And
serious
he was
when
like-
they're when,
conversation?
yeah,
he was
yeah.
like-
and,
yeah.
he's-
I thought
and
that
he
was
gets
good.
like
Yeah.
3 minutes into the conversation and he's like,
I thought that was
or
hilarious.
You're just dumb,
Yeah.
or whatever.
I
I
thought
just
that
like
was
we
good.
were. I was waiting for that joke 45 seconds ago.
No,
like,
see, I thought that was
wasn't-
hilarious because I loved how he drug it out. He's like, "Oh, you're right. Like, if it's like one or two times is a coincidence, but if it keeps happening, he's
Yeah,
like,
it's
or
it's
you're just a
fact.
dumbass." And I was like,
yeah, I just didn't.
I like
But
that.
here's
one.
the
that
thing.
punchline didn't land for me.
That alone right there, it was like, or you're just a dumbass.
Yeah.
And then they keep proving throughout the rest of the
But
film.
then they keep making the joke over
Yeah.
and
Well,
over.
they make
yeah.
the joke by the set pieces that are set beyond that. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, there's there's no possible way this is conceivable or could happen.
Yeah.
Let alone the laws of physics
Doesn't
just
matter.
describe
They made
how
that
they
joke
get through
too.
it.
He held up
Yeah.
a piece of paper and he's like, "As long as we follow the physics, it'll be good." And that's all they say.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
Not
all
to
you need.
spoil anything, but
That's
it's
the
just
evidence.
physics, and family, physics and family.
That's right.
I mean, that really was the sum of the whole movie.
My main problem with this movie, I mean, I had fun watching it, but I didn't feel like specifically that because each movie kind of adds something. Like this movie had no purpose. Its
No.
only purpose was to introduce the fact that Dom has a brother nobody knew about.
Yeah.
which was John Cena, who was like his character was pointless. Like I didn't feel like he
Are they
needed to be there.
trying to basically make that a
I think he's supposed to be
a
the
supplement because of Brian
Yeah, I
being gone?
think that's
because
kind of what Vin
Paul
Diesel talked about
Walker-
behind the scenes is like he just something just drew him to John Cena and he knew he had to become part of the family and I'm just like, oh Lord. yeah.
He even says it
Yeah.
offset.
Oh yeah.
part
Yeah.
of the family.
So and it's like but he's like a poor replacement.
No.
Like he
Yeah.
doesn't have the same connection. He doesn't
well,
have a
here's
good
the thing.
story.
It'd be one thing too for Dom to keep it a secret and not talk about it, but what about the sister?
Mia?
The
Yeah.
sister never mentions
Never
that they have
says a
another.
thing.
It's
a
like
brother.
they never
Yeah.
talk about it and all of a sudden
they sort of hinted the fact that they are of different descent.
Mhm.
You know, mainly like okay, same father, different mothers.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because and it could be the same with regard to well, maybe Mia is actual biological sisters with
Dom, but not Jacob.
but not
I
Jacob.
don't know because I mean they
Maybe
all
that's
treat
the
each other
only
like big
reason
family.
that's the only
Yeah.
thing I can think is conceivable.
It's-
But here's the other problem too: is that emotional element? Because I'm not going to count John Cena out yet. I didn't see enough in this film, and I agree with you. Other than his introduction, and also the other introduction of the Asian girl that
she was
Han
pointless.
finds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really
Pointless
was just
character.
like another reason to bring Han back,
Mhm.
which they could have really just left him out and had.
I think they had to. I think
flashbacks.
they had to do the diversity thing and have
Well,
another Asian. in
Here's
there.
the
Well, they could have still had her.
just every film
But
Justin Lin makes that actor's in. So I guess
Oh, she
since-
is?
No, Han.
Han, okay,
So I guess
okay.
because he came back, he had to bring Han back. But I'm like, you didn't have to. I mean, you can't make one movie without the guy. It's like
But
his
it could have been
death was
flashbacks.
supposed to be meaningful.
Right.
Yeah,
It
they
could
could
have
have brought him back
flashbacks,
as flashbacks.
and they still could have
Well,
had the
that
Asian
plays
girl that
into
played
that,
in a big
that
role.
Plays into the fact that none of them can die.
Yeah.
Brian didn't die.
Yep.
And
Well, he's
neither
and,
did Han.
and he's still not dead. But
Yeah,
how
right.
do you explain Mia coming back and being in literally the only thing she does in this whole movie is turn the knob of the magnet?
Yeah.
Other than that, she's in the last scene and saying, "Oh yeah, Brian's on his way."
Well, Jacob's
But
her brother
it's
too.
just-
Okay.
But they really
I
shouldn't
agree.
have
They're
brought
like-
her in it at all.
They said it's like, well, we left the kids with the safest person, Brian. It's like, no, see, if this was reality, I feel like Brian would come help because
Yes.
he's the more skilled,
And you would've left
Mia
him with
would
Mia.
watch the kids.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
whoa, what? Are you playing gender roles?
I think
now?
he is. I think
I'm
he
not.
Is
I'm
conforming
just
to
saying,
gender bias.
based on the skill sets we've seen in all the other movies,
You're a
Brian
bigot.
can
You're a bigot.
drive.
You're a bigot. It's okay.
am.
We'll move on.
Yeah.
We
I want
already
Paul
know he's a
Walker
bigot.
back.
But I really
But
am. I'm
Jordana
not-
Brewster's nicer to look at.
Well, Brian, no, because Paul Walker's dead. It wouldn't be really good to look at him.
CG.
Wow.
That'd be
We need to
terrible.
bring him back.
Wow.
It's like, yeah, you're gonna let death keep
Yeah.
you down.
Yeah.
Not his brother
His,
may be back.
his brother wants to do it again.
I know.
And I'd almost be willing if he's got the blessing of the family. But here's the thing. I am not willing to
family.
count
The
family.
family.
It's
The
all
fast
about the
family.
family.
That's right.
That's right. But I'm not willing to count out John Cena yet. I just think the ultimate failure of this film to introduce him was that a majority of his buildup were based on flashbacks that we saw with two different actors.
Too many.
And the fact is I'm sorry, yeah, they didn't do the one scene that I didn't mind. I told Keith this was when Dom's apparently almost about to die, of course, and he goes through all these memories in his head, and he walks into this room, and there's a mirror, and you see the young Dom that's already been portrayed in the film,
Right.
in the mirror reflection along with Vin Diesel, and I was like, okay, that's kind of
The
cool.
young Dom that doesn't look anything like Vin
He
Diesel.
doesn't.
Sounded
Yeah.
like him though. I guess he
He
had a
did.
little bit of a voice
Yeah.
over with that.
And that might, well, actually, I couldn't tell.
I kind of wondered if
I
they mixed
couldn't
their
tell
voice
either.
together.
I
They
thought
couldn't
about
make
that
it-
because I was like, that could be Vin Diesel doing some ADR work, or that could just be that guy. I wasn't
It really could have
sure,
been
yeah.
why they picked him.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that sold him.
Now, I did think the guy that was younger John Cena looked more like John Cena than the younger Dom looked like Vin Diesel.
Yeah,
But
and I thought he actually kind of acted like him, but you didn't see enough of John Cena to really
No.
clarify that. And I think because they depended on those flashbacks with characters that show the younger version of themselves instead of them older versions, the only thing you see in them interacting throughout the film is fighting. That's it. You don't really see an actual emotional scene between the two. I mean, yeah, there's, again, build up and escalation and action, but it's never an emotional moment until the very end, and the payoff isn't there.
No.
Other than the fact that it's like, oh, we know he's going to be back,
Yeah.
and we know he's not all a bad guy.
all I know is the last two movies need to give us a Rock John Cena SmackDown.
Absolutely.
Because it's like they got to bring the Rock. Because honestly, I think that's what I missed the most about this movie is the fact that the Rock and Jason Statham wasn't in it. Because honestly, they made the 8th movie, and
they made Hobbs and Shaw.
And which rightfully so. I
Yeah.
mean, the reason they were like, that's the reason Hobbs and Shaw became a thing was because of how good they were playing off each other in that movie. So it's like, yeah, I kind of want them to come back. I mean, I know they have the Hobbs and Shaw movies too, but it's like, if you're going to finish the main franchise, bring them back to finish it. And
Well, and I guess it's weird because now the way they're setting it up too, you would think, how do they fight each other? Because they're technically on the same side,
Right.
but they would have to come up with
It'll
maybe
be
they
the
just
same as this. They'll
Yeah.
start off as enemies and
Yeah.
they'll end up going after Cypher together.
yeah.
right,
Yeah.
and I'd be fine with that. I'd be all right with him coming
I
into
mean,
the picture.
they
They throw
hint-
some jabs at each other, and they're like, "Oh wait, we're on the same team. Let's go take care of Cypher."
Yeah.
That's fine.
Not to
I'm
spoil-
fine- I'm
Yeah,
fine with
not
that.
to
That's
spoil
exactly the line
anything,
they'll
but there
use,
is
too.
an after credit scene that hints at maybe them being in the last two. So
Yeah.
I think
know,
so.
Yeah, so
It's gonna be like the Avengers. There's
Yeah.
gonna be so many characters.
they're all going to
in
be
this
in
last
Oh,
two
man.
They need,
movies.
yeah, they should. They should. Every person that's been in Fast and the Furious that's still able to come back, they should just bring them all back.
Now give me as far as the timeline chronologically, because now that Han is back and we know that his death wasn't real in Tokyo Drift, did Tokyo Drift happen
It happens after 7.
7?
Yeah.
Okay, so 7,
So
then
you have,
Tokyo
you have
Drift.
1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, Tokyo Drift, 8, 9.
Okay. I
Or
just
actually
wanted
8
to,
Hobbs and Shaw 9.
there you go.
Yeah.
'Cause, well, in Hobbs and Shaw, we kind of argued that
It might kind of go on at the same time.
Yeah,
as
we think it
9,
may be going on at the same time.
Yeah.
Because we also joked around about how
based on the end credit scene
Yeah,
and the whole
yeah.
Han thing. Yeah.
Well, and how in the world could something like, again, this is the funny thing, is they literally went from stealing CD players and carjacking things for money to saving the freaking world. So,
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
So
there's
they,
this huge
they
gap.
used to carjack semis and steal the DVD players. And that was the first movie. They were
Right.
stealing like
Right.
RCA products.
I mean,
Now they're saving the world from global destruction.
They're literally from the ghetto to space.
I think they're
telling
gonna
you.
have to time travel in the next 2 movies.
Nice.
I think
They
Cypher's gonna
should.
like do something. They're gonna have to go back in time and change it.
Maybe that's what's in the Marianas Trench. Is the time machine.
Time loop.
Yeah, that's
or
right.
a black hole or something that we don't know
And
about.
they freaking come out, and then the Titanic's rising.
Oh, it hadn't sank yet.
It hadn't sank yet. They got to save the Titanic. Oh, man, if they go back in
I'm
time.
saying that's it. They're on horses and buggies. Fast and Furious with horses.
An Old West.
That'd be sick.
Oh,
I mean,
my
I think at this
gosh.
point, Universal owns Jurassic Park. Universal owns Fast and the Furious. Why don't we get some dinosaurs up in here?
Let's do it. Man, if they're freaking racing dinosaurs.
Jurassic Furious.
Man, look at me. I'm like Fred Flintstone.
I could just say, oh shit,
terrible.
there's Dino.
And then they drive by and you hear that noise that it makes when they're running. Oh my god. And I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at this point.
Yeah.
No.
You know? That's the sad thing.
I mean, here's the thing: as disappointed as I was in terms of, again, we've known the escalation of ridiculousness in all these films since. I would say, it started with 5, but 5 was still somewhat conceivable, and they've just gotten worse and worse with their set
the
pieces.
submarine. In the last movie,
It's insane.
It was crazy.
But I will say this one, it literally did jump the shark or nuke the fridge or jump the moon.
It jumped the moon.
Yeah. I mean, but I am looking forward still to them wrapping up the series with 10 and 11, knowing
I am.
that they're shooting it back to back. And knowing that it is going to hopefully be one cohesive. I mean, somebody's going to have to die.
Again,
There's going to have to be a love and loss.
They can't.
It has
it's
to be.
impossible.
It's going to happen. I'm telling you.
It's again. I mean, we gave it 2 stars, but at least I did. I don't know what you all gave it, but it's
2.
not. It's not a 2-star. It's not a. I
Or
hate
what
it
you
2
give it?
star.
I would say 1.5.
Okay. Okay.
You really ain't.
I did think
I
thought
gave it the 2
last,
just because I was entertained.
I thought the
still.
last movie was more entertaining.
Yes, I
just
agree.
simply because it did have a little bit better story, but I just can't.
This is definitely the most ridiculous and dumbest film
Yeah.
out of the entire
I
series.
told
No
them-
doubt.
I got home after watching it, and I went and told my wife goodnight, and she was like, "Did you like the movie?" And I was like, "Nah, I mean it was Fast and Furious." I was like, we should watch some of like the first couple of movies or whatever.
Yeah.
You'd probably like them. She's like, it's just people driving fast cars. Why would I want to watch that?
Hey,
And
fast
I'm
cars and fast women.
And I'm
Yeah.
just like that. I mean, you did kind of sum it up.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
That's all it is.
Well, that was the appeal when the first couple
I
came out,
understand,
and
yeah.
then they
Yeah.
turned it into something different. And I mean, they got a lot more viewers with the
That's
more
true.
action oriented
That's true.
blockbuster. But now they've just kind of gone. It's definitely run its course. That's the thing I could say with seeing the 9th one. It's like, okay, it's time to put this series
No
to
doubt.
bed.
Yeah.
And thankfully, we did rate. I looked at our past reviews, 6 and 7. We both rated 2.5, which I think was being generous. But now that we've had, or I'm sorry, it was 7 and 8. But with
Yeah.
this one, I'm glad we rated it lower. I would
Well, yeah,
stick
it's not
with
as
2.
good as
I'm
7
with,
or 8.
I was gonna say I'm with you, Keith. I think it literally is the worst in the series, and I honestly think looking back, which granted
For
it
me,
is
4,
the
5, and
Fast saga.
For me, 4, 5, and 6 were the high point of the series.
Yeah.
With the 5th being like the peak.
To
Yeah.
me, yeah,
It was kind of like
that's
4,
my
5,
favorite.
6, and then
Yeah.
But it is funny because I really do believe that hopefully if 10 and 11 go out on a high note, it'll kind of be in respect to saying, okay, we did take this on too long, and I think 9 is just going to be forgotten. Like it'll be overlooked, and really it can be. It can be completely tossed out, I think, once you have the wrap-up of 10 and 11. You won't need this film.
I just thought about this, though, because we were talking about how Tyrese had the best lines in this movie. And, I mean, they do usually throw him, like, these really dumb lines that end up being funny. But the reason he has the best lines in this movie is because usually it's The Rock or Jason Statham. Because I was just thinking about that.
That's right.
Without that back and forth, who else was going to deliver, like, the over-the-top
Yeah,
lines?
we already know that's
Yeah,
why
so-
Tyrese was jealous and had that beef with The Rock over Hobbs and Shaw. He knew who was better.
The Rock is definitely... The Rock can deliver dialogue
Oh,
so
absolutely.
well. Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Another thing that we got to talk about on topic with F9, of
Oh,
course,
man.
was its amazing success at the box office.
Is it really? I mean, everybody. And don't get me wrong. I'm glad it did, but everybody's making this huge deal about it. But is it really that surprising?
I don't know.
I don't think it is.
We're gonna get into it though right now on our headlines. Let's roll that open.
I just love it. I opened the article and it's this picture of Vin Diesel, and I love
And
it.
he's smiling.
And he's just
Smiling
smiling.
with his
He's
glasses
so
on.
Yeah, he's smiling.
That's okay. That's one
His
thing.
Family.
Exactly. I will say that I love about this series is that Vin Diesel's all in.
Oh, he is.
He
yeah.
is all in on this series, and I will say in
Well, he
a weird
produces
way,
them too. So
Yeah.
he really does bring out the whole family moniker
Well,
throughout the film.
That's how
like,
they got
with
him
everybody.
to come back. Like from the 4th one on, like he co-produces them. Universal's like, we want you to come back, but not only do we want you to come back, we want you to help produce them. And
Well,
he was
good
like,
for them.
okay, then I'll do it. That's why he agreed to come back, and that's why the movies have kind of gone the way they have gone, along with Justin Lin. Is
Well, that's the
Vin
thing.
Diesel's also kind of pushed them in that
Ever
direction.
since then, and honestly, since the first, they've gotten bigger and better. And what better
Crazier.
year than after a pandemic to release this film? It now becomes the highest grossing film since the pandemic.
Yeah, they're calling it the highest, pandemic era
film.
like box office, and I'm like, when are we out of pandemic
We're not.
era?
Right.
Well, and that's the funny thing is it's like basically once we're back up to, I guess, regular numbers of – because this literally I think would have easily crossed the 70 million, though, when
Yeah.
it was non-pandemic. It would have been, I think, 90.
It's,
Oh, yeah.
it's the highest box office opening since Rise of Skywalker in 2019, and I'm not surprised by that because there's nothing been out.
But what was that number? To put it in
I'm
comparison.
sure that it was way higher than 70. It was Star Wars.
It was Rise
domestic.
of Skywalker. And it was the last one. So
Yeah.
it would have had to have been. Dang on,
to
it
pull
really
that
has
open.
been that long.
That was the December 2019.
Wow,
Rise of
that's crazy
Skywalker.
to think though that
That's
was
the last
highest-
major film.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
That
to
was
be
Christmas, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right around Christmas when that came out.
that's
wasn't it?
true. No,
It
Yeah,
was
that was the
December.
that was the last one that they released. All the rest of them were May. That was the only one they
Yeah.
released.
Well,
in
then
December.
everything went haywire in February.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think any of the Disney era films got the May released because that's what people is.
Oh, that's right. Because Rogue One and Han
Solo did get because it was right after. It was just a few
Right
months
after
after 8. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's right. 8 released in December, and so did Force Awakens. No, Force Awakens released in the summer. I thought, didn't it?
I thought Star Wars was always in the winter. Always December.
For Disney.
For
With
Disney.
Disney's releases.
Yeah, they
it
always
was.
released in May
That's
until
right.
Disney bought them.
7, 8, and 9 were
Because
all
you had May
winter.
4th was
May the 4th.
yeah. They always released in May, and then when Disney bought them, they moved them to the winter releases.
Okay.
Box office opening. I don't know if this is domestic or worldwide, but it says 220 million.
That's got to be worldwide.
Yeah.
That's got to be everything included for opening
Worldwide.
weekend. I mean, it is Rise of
Oh, wait,
Skywalker.
wait.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was more, but I just don't see the domestic being that high. I could see it cracking 100 million. I'm just interested because, I mean, with that releasing in December of 2019,
It was 175.5 million in North America.
Damn,
90
that is a
million,
lot.
90 million of that from the Thursday night opening.
Damn.
So
Oh,
it made
wow.
one in
Yeah.
one night more than this. Which, granted,
Well, here's the
Yeah.
thing.
Star
to
Wars
really
last
compare
movie
it, though, you'd
and
have to look at the
pandemic
last
numbers.
Fast and the
Pre-pandemic,
Furious.
yeah.
You'd have to look at
Mhm.
Furious 8. You'd have to look at it, The Fate of the Furious, and see what it released as domestically to really compare apples and oranges as to what it really should have expected to make. Because I think that released in like August. It was still a summer release. But you really have to compare it with that number. Because ultimately, the real question here is, like you said, when are we going to get back to the idea that, cinema is back, and we keep hearing this. We talked about it with The Quiet
Are they
Place.
at 100% capacity now? AMC theaters? Or are they
I
still
think
at-
so.
The AMC's allowing, yes, 100%
Okay.
to
I was
go
just saying
back.
because they don't
'Cause
even
I
even
noticed-
cross off when you.
Well,
yeah.
that's why I was curious because I noticed our seats, like there was no one else in our row, and there were people
They just- I
like,
think they-
not the row behind us, but the next row, and I wondered if they were seating people.
No, as far
if
as
they
I
were
know, because
social
we
distancing.
didn't even. I don't think we even.
90,
we didn't have to select our.
90 million.
I selected the tickets.
Yeah.
I mean I picked the seats, but
Yeah.
I didn't notice any.
No,
Okay,
the last
so
couple
then-
times I've gone on my own, there wasn't any.
Okay.
They didn't cross anything out. But Fate of the 8 made 90 million its opening weekend.
See, so I think
so
this
70
is on
million's
par.
pretty good.
I mean, to be post-pandemic, but I agree. It's like, when are we going to get away from this moniker? Because even 45 million for A Quiet Place 2, and I think that was extremely successful. Let alone it being a sequel, but also I think it was expected to be
I
successful.
think
Yeah.
the more they continue to release huge blockbusters like F9, the more we're going to see these numbers continue to go up. People want to go back to the theater, and I definitely think we've seen that by now. So rather than continuing to push, and I don't think anybody's going to push anything off anymore, but some of the stuff that did get pushed off, I think was premature. Like Black Widow, it could have released this month, or in June, like it was supposed to, but they got cold feet, so now it's moved to July. Freaking Jurassic World, which I don't care about, but there's
Yeah.
no reason it had to go all the way back to 2022.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of what I'm trying to pull up here
I'm
on.
pissed too because that's Chris Pratt.
That's
That's a tree I would climb.
that's
I'm really pissed about that.
that's a monkey bar.
I
that
want
you'd
to
swing
see
from.
I just want to see the feathered dinosaurs. Okay.
Hey, I do too. After I saw that trailer, if you get a special treat if you go to the IMAX
Yeah,
showing of
you,
F9.
you get like the opening of.
Yeah.
And trust me, you
Jurassic
really
World
do
Dominion.
think Fast and the Furious has crossed the line because it opens with dinosaurs, and you're like,
Yeah.
What the heck is going
oh my
on?
gosh.
As long as it was, I was like, "Is this part of the movie?" Until I heard Keith whisper, "Like this is the
Jurassic World
origin
Dominion.
of Jurassic World or whatever." I'm like,
Yeah.
"What?"
Oh gosh, I'm like,
Yeah.
they don't even. Yeah, I will say they did. I'm glad they did it this way because I hate the hokey. The director comes on screen. Hi, I'm director Ron Howard, and I want you to see a special preview of my
Yeah.
upcoming movie. I hate that crap. Just show the clip.
Colin Trevorrow didn't want to do that. He wasn't coming on screen.
No. Well, I'm kind of glad.
It was sad though because we all did note like while watching this preview of Jurassic World Dominion that this whole CGI world they've created of the prehistoric dinosaurs before humanity came along looked so much faker than the dinosaurs in the first Jurassic Park movie. So
Well, it's funny because I'm actually looking up right now based on what we have coming out. Because the real question here is, we've got great success with F9. No doubt they're going to go into July 4th weekend. It was a smart release, I think, to even higher numbers, people getting out,
Should've
celebrating
released
the
Top
holiday.
Gun. Man, I would
know.
go see Top Gun on July 4th
Isn't
weekend
that
in a
ridiculous?
heartbeat.
Isn't that insane
It's
that
like,
they pushed it
what
back?
better way to celebrate Independence Day by seeing Top Gun?
They missed an opportunity.
that was stupid.
What studio is that again? Who's making that one? Is that
I don't know,
Universal?
it's Universal.
Yeah,
I think
Yeah.
it is. Why
maybe
the
they didn't want
hell?
it to compete with F9. Maybe,
But I
don't
would have
know.
rather them push this back.
Yeah, than
This would
Top
have been
Gun.
better to push back even a little bit later in the summer and had
Oh,
Top Gun.
No. Actually, that's Paramount.
Is Top Gun Paramount?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I remember the opening of Top Gun. It has the
The
mountains and the
Okay.
stars flying around it.
So
and
screw
it's got
Paramount.
the song.
Screw
They
playing.
got
Paramount.
cold feet.
They did.
They chickened out.
And it's ridiculous because what I'm looking at here is a disappointing schedule of releases. We got, great, F9's probably going to easily hold out for another week. But then we got Black Widow. They have good projections already set for Black Widow with regard to...
I'm actually really interested in seeing its box office numbers because it's also going to be on Disney Plus. So we'll get the chance to see who
True.
goes sees it in theater
Although
and who pays the
we've
$30
seen-
for
Good
Disney.
point. Yeah.
That is true, but we have seen such as like Godzilla versus Kong, and even then, going back to the theater wasn't as popular. But the
It did
streaming,
make a good amount of money in theaters.
It,
Yeah.
but I was going to say, and the streaming didn't impact it as much. They
No.
said they only estimated about $10 million.
That was when
in
there were
sales.
capacity. That was when there were capacity limitations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
too.
And they
So-
did, and I know again, I don't know how they came up with that figure because you didn't have to buy it or rent it. It was free, available on HBO Max. So
Yeah.
I don't know how they estimated the sales, but going based off their estimations.
Yeah.
But here's a look at other than Black Widow coming out, this is the sad news. Can we really say cinema is back when we've got after Black Widow?
I don't know. I thought there were some good releases. I
I'm
was
looking
looking
right
forward
now. I think the next major release you've got July 16th, Out of Death, which looks like it has. Is that Bruce Willis?
Oh God.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything.
And Jamie King. I don't even know what that movie's about. I haven't even seen that movie. You do have Space Jam coming out, which looks to be a big release.
That'll also be streaming.
to. Yeah, it will be.
Is that HBO?
Yep.
Correct me if
It's
I'm wrong.
HBO
Okay.
Max. Yep.
So you've got Space Jam, A New Legacy coming out in July, the middle of July. So basically that gives Black Widow a few weeks on top there, just a couple of weeks. Continuing on, I'm just looking through what I consider
And there
to
might
be
be
like
movies that.
blockbusters.
Yeah. Okay. You're only talking about the huge
I'm
ones because
not-
there
yeah,
are other
there's-
movies
there's
coming out
tons,
between
yeah,
them that
tons
I
of
want to
movies
see.
coming
yeah.
out.
I was like,
Yeah, no.
there's
I'm
more
looking
movies
at
than
what is
that.
going to be considered to be a blockbuster that theaters are looking to bring people to the seats.
yeah.
Because really, honestly, after that, late July, you've got Snake Eyes, Jungle Cruise, on July 30th.
That one I do want to see.
That I think might be willing to bring, and that may be a big one for families. That may be a big one to
For
get
the family, and it's got The
family.
Rock in it.
Exactly. You got The Rock, Emily Blunt partnering there. That may bring some larger audiences back to the theater. I mean, that is the crazy thing. Free Guy, which is more of adult content in
Yeah,
the middle
I
of
do wanna
August.
I
see
do want
Free
to see
Guy.
that bad.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
here it is. The thing is looking at the schedule, it looks like we have some really good, decent films that I think we
When
can
does
look forward
Avatar
to.
2 come out again?
That's like 2 more years.
2028. I think it's
I think it's supposed to be winter of next year.
Actually,
but
no. I found out. I read an article. They lost it at the bottom of the Marianas
Oh,
Trench.
they lost
They-
the
oh,
film.
that would be
film, yeah.
hilarious. We lost our trench at the
That
bottom
one,
of the trench.
that one camera had all the footage
All
on
the footage
it, and
on
it
it.
sank.
and it sank just
Yeah.
like the Titanic. And you know what's funny is there's a scene, believe it or not, shot on James Cameron's iPhone
Mm-hmm.
of him
Like
dropping it
dropping it.
over.
Brandon, you missed Escape Room 2. You don't think that's going to
Oh,
be a massive
gosh. Oh.
blockbuster?
What?
Yeah, and those teeny boppers are gonna go see it on Friday night. I'm
Yep.
telling you,
Yep.
they're gonna love it.
We got Suicide Squad in August before
No,
Free
they're-
Guy.
Oh,
August 6th.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
How did
a
I
good
miss
one.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I accidentally missed that one.
That's a huge one.
That's a huge.
That
huge
also
one.
will be on HBO Max, but I want to see that in
Oh, yeah.
theaters.
Yeah.
That's one I want to see in theaters.
Oh no! Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
IMAX. Oh, that's
Oh,
good.
when does that come
yes.
out? What's the-
August 6th.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
We won't be at the lake
That's
yet.
good, good.
We're gonna see that one
Good,
before
good,
the
good.
lake.
August 20th, the Paw Patrol movie comes out.
Oh yeah.
How do you miss that?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know they were making a Paw Patrol
I didn't
movie.
either. I'll have to watch it.
Hey,
you know
but
I will.
and actually we've got. Oh no. Shang-Chi.
Yeah, that's in
That's
September.
the big one in September,
Mhm.
beginning of September. Really, actually, other than Suicide Squad and what was the other one in August? I think that might be it.
That
for
was
August.
it. Oh, Free Guy, but that's
Free
not.
Guy.
That's not.
Those are the two biggest releases.
I want
in
to see
August.
that,
yeah.
but Free Guy. I
August
also
is
don't
really
think
kind
that's
of
a
the
huge
lull
release.
that we're gonna have for the summer. But after that, we've got the
Candyman.
Kingsman. The King's
Yeah.
Man
Mm.
is coming out in
Man,
September,
I
late
forgot
September.
about that movie.
Clifford's
Time
a big
to
red
Die.
dog.
Yeah,
I saw the trailer for that.
It looks
today.
awful.
Yeah.
the Clifford.
I
Yeah,
saw
the trailer
It
came
was-
out today.
Are
I
they going
watched
back
it.
to classic animation?
No, it's a live
still
action movie.
Yeah.
He's
Oh,
a CGI
gosh.
giant red dog.
Giant red dog. But
I saw the here's the thing.
Oh no.
And I'm probably being way too nitpicky for a movie like this, but I watched this movie. In the books, she gets Clifford as a puppy, and then he grows, and he just doesn't stop growing. He turns into this giant dog.
right.
In this movie, she gets Clifford as a puppy, and she's like, "How big will he get?" And John Cleese is like, "It depends on how much you love him." yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because love, it
Well-
conquers all.
well,
Love
then-
makes you grow.
Then she gets picked on in school, and she goes home and cries, and her teardrop falls on the dog. And the next day, this puppy's a giant, and I'm like, "Yeah," in the trailer, and I'm like, "This is stupid."
Wow. Apparently, I
Yeah.
didn't see all the trailers.
I was like, "This is stupid." It's like
This
in the
is
book,
great.
he just naturally it was
He
just
grows
it was
and
just,
grows and grows.
It was abnormal. Nobody knew why, but he just became a giant dog.
we
In the
know it's
movie,
because of a tear of love.
in the movie, the tear of love turns him into a giant dog,
I'm
and
gonna-
I'm like, I'm done. I'm not watching this.
but
movie.
if she got picked on and she's crying, then how's that a tear of love?
because I don't. I was gonna come up with some
Wow.
off the wall dumb.
she's crying and needs
Well,
the
because
love.
the dog
She
comes
loves the
and
dog.
the dog comes to comfort her. So
she
she's
cries
like,
on the dog.
She's like, "Thank you for comforting me, Clifford. Now you're gonna turn into a giant that can kill
I'm
me
gonna
in my
cry.
sleep."
I'm gonna cry on Edie over there, and I'm gonna see if she turns into a giant dog.
And then he swallows a pug. So I was just like, "Okay."
Oh my god!
He spits it back out. It was an accident, but I was just like, that was kind of scary.
That is.
Like he licks it and he accidentally licks it up and like swallows it and then coughs and spits it out. And I'm like, that's kind of intense.
Yeah.
Who's making
Yeah,
this?
I was getting ready to ask the same thing. Is
Yeah.
that's not Disney, is it?
I feel like
No,
this is something
no.
the studios who made Paddington.
I'm
Bear
sure
are
they thought it was
making
fun, but Paddington Bear's actually good.
It
But
is
and I
good.
have a feeling maybe.
Paddington 2 is especially good.
Yeah.
See, but that's the thing.
This movie, I don't think is going to be good.
I don't know.
No,
I was not intrigued by the Paddington.
The
trailers,
trailers
but if
didn't
you
look
all-
as bad as this movie does.
Okay. I don't know. But continuing on, we've got No Time to Die, Halloween Kills, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Eternals. We are easily Top Gun Maverick.
Oh yeah, by the end of the year, we got all
is,
kinds of
yeah,
things
coming out later this year. So we've still got
Spider-Man, Dune.
yeah. I mean, it's crazy,
Dune
but
will be HBO, right?
we don't know.
Yeah, they
I think
keep. That's
still
the
holding
one.
out. They're
Batting it
still
back and
holding
forth.
out.
Yeah, that's the one that they're like, we might put that in theaters only.
Yep. I at this point, I'd be okay with them saying you don't get it. Look, we've had a whole year of movies. I'd be okay if they were like, no, Dune's just going to be a theatrical release, especially if they're seeing the success that they are. I think for something like that, I think they're going to get more return for their
And
buck
then
if
if
they force people to go to the theater.
And granted, I want it to do well. I
And
want
it
it
could
to
be
be
a loss
good.
too.
But if they choose to go only the theater route and it does bad, Dennis Villeneuve has no one to blame but himself at that time.
Yeah, no,
So-
exactly. And
Not saying it will be, because I do want it to be good. I'm looking forward to it, and I like Villeneuve. I think he makes good sci-fi, but his biggest push is like the streaming will ruin the numbers and he won't be able to make the sequels he wants. So.
But no doubt, I do agree with Vin Diesel's excited, gleeful, exclamation of the cinema's back.
Oh yeah,
I would agree. I think it is back. I think it's been back since A Quiet Place 2, and I think honestly, thankfully to those studios, I'm grateful for those studios to take the risk.
For Vin Diesel, it's got to feel good that this franchise is still very popular despite how ridiculous it's gotten. It has been the largest release we've had since the pandemic, so I'm sure he is walking on cloud 9 thinking, yeah, I made another hit and people love it and it's bringing people back to the theaters.
Family. We're all family at the theater.
I was gonna say he's not on cloud 9. He's like in space.
That's right. He's
on cloud.
He's among the stars.
He's on cloud F9.
Oh!
All right.
That was great. Alrighty, moving on to our second topic of the evening. It is definitely worth talking about because this is actually a little bit of a surprise.
Oh yeah.
Tarantino opened up this week.
It's a surprise.
I think so. He's not one to interview about personal stuff.
No.
Oh, I thought you were talking about his whole thing confirming that he's not making any more movies after the 10th.
No,
that's not it at all. He opened up on a podcast recently
Stop.
for come
No.
on, Edie. She's not. Wait till she's Clifford's size, and then you can cry on her and she shrinks. How about that? Wouldn't that be a plot twist?
I got tears of hate, so they shrink her.
Tears of hatred.
But no, it is interesting. He was on the WTF podcast with Mark Maron. It's been a long-standing podcast on the charts, and he actually went into talking about his father, his estranged father.
Oh, okay. Yes. Sorry.
And what was interesting was he specifically pointed out how his father was a struggling actor back in the day, Tony Tarantino, and that if he really had the chance to do it all over again, he only chose the name because he thought it sounded cool. And if he could, he would go back and just use his middle name and not even use the name Tarantino. He'd go back Quentin Jerome. That's how much he dislikes his own biological father. He actually credits his stepfather for giving him the love of movies that he had and for taking him to the theater and always showing him these interesting flicks. And he said,
yeah, but Quentin Jerome just doesn't have the same ring to it.
No, it doesn't. I agree. I'm honestly it's one of those things where I'm glad. Yeah, maybe he was a little bit younger and dumber back then that he went with Tarantino.
Yeah.
But again, it's not my namesake. I don't care.
Well, if it makes him feel any better, everybody remembers Tarantino as him. Nobody remembers Tarantino
it's
as
funny.
his father.
He brought that up. He actually said it was really weird. He said that his father, Tony, and Al Pacino's estranged father actually worked on a film after both of their careers became successful. And he said they went straight to VHS. And he said, so it's kind of funny that both of our estranged fathers made their fame off of our names.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, he's right about that.
Yeah.
He really has no. I wouldn't say he's bitter. He just is more indifferent about it. He's like, I don't care about the relationship with my father. He wasn't in my life. He only tried to come around after Pulp Fiction came out and I became known. And I think it's kind of telling in that sense. And it's like, okay, I think that is. It doesn't seem like he's not. He is affected by it, like he's hurt by it, but he's not going to cry over spilt milk.
No.
He's kind of moved
I mean,
on.
look at him. Look at the career he's had. I mean,
yeah, but it's still one of those things.
Oh,
where
yeah.
it cuts deep if you don't
definitely.
have a father
I'm just
figure
saying,
in your life.
I can see
but
why
he did. He
how
just
he's,
wasn't his biological father.
Been able to persevere and be like, does it suck? Yes, but he's doing well off without his father. So not, like you said, no spilt milk. It's one of those things where it's like it sucks, but doing fine without you, Dad.
Yeah. I just thought it was interesting that he's opening up, but it was in typical Tarantino fashion. It was kind of after hearing what he said, what I expected Tarantino to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's like
Tarantino. He doesn't pull strings with his opinions.
F
so.
this, F that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. That's exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like whenever reporters have cornered him and well, what is up with all this violence? He's like, no, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
And he just shoos them off. And
Well, it is. It's
that's
stupid.
that's in the interview here. It says that's exactly what he did with his dad when his dad approached him in a restaurant. Was he just waved him off?
Yeah.
And said, just go, just go,
just get out of here.
And
he left.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and here's the thing, some people could see that as callous or like, oh, why didn't you give him a chance? And I'm like, for one, it's pretty
like, why
telling.
is he coming around only
Right.
after he's famous?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And not only that, it's like this is somebody he doesn't know. I mean, it literally, it's like, it's not, yeah, he birthed him,
Mm-hmm.
but, you know, you want to talk about the term that goes around these days, birthing person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, he was part of the process, but that was it. As far as any kind of credibility that the guy has
Well,
in
we don't
raising
even know
him,
if he was part of the
didn't raise
birthing.
him.
He was just part of the creation, you know.
That's
True.
what, yeah, true.
Yeah,
true.
he was the sperm donor.
That was it.
Yeah.
And so I don't blame Tarantino for not really caring about him.
I do wish he would rethink the 10 film thing, but I do understand his point in that.
I think you will.
Well, like he said, as directors go on, he's seen tons of great directors that their last several films are just garbage.
Spielberg.
Yeah. Well, he didn't mention Spielberg, but he does.
Still has a chance.
Yeah, but he does mention a few directors. And I'm like,
Cameron.
he has a point. You know, as some directors go on, they don't make good movies anymore. And he said he doesn't want to be that director. He wants to go out on top and know that he's made good films
I was
and
gonna
not
say,
continue
so
on
far
into garbage.
I haven't found a bad one.
No.
He's had ones that are not as good as others, but they've all been good.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
all great movies.
Yeah.
Like there's not one that he's made that I would not watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every single one of them I'd watch again.
So I get his point. You know, he wants to go out knowing that everything he's done has been good. But it's like, hey, if you're really great, you could just keep on doing it.
Well, and that's that. But that ultimately is why I don't think the 10th will be his last, because I think he'll make the 10th with it being the purposeful about it being his last.
Yep, everybody go see it because it's Tarantino's last movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it'll literally be, I mean, just like, I'm sorry, but Kojima did this with Metal Gear. Metal Gear Solid 3 was his last one. Then he did Metal Gear Solid 4. That was his last one. Then he did Metal Gear Solid 5, and then they kicked him out.
And that one was his last
So,
one.
I mean,
Yeah.
so that had to be his last one.
He did that one halfway.
And then you saw Death Stranding in the teaser for the director's cut, and it's got Metal Gear moments, and you're like, huh, wonder
Yeah.
where he's drawing that from.
Yeah.
So it's just funny, but it's like I think creators tend to think in those terms of, yeah, of course you don't want to create something that you later look back on
Look
and
at the basketball players. They all, or in football
Yeah,
players,
right.
they all retire. This is my last season. This is my last season. Then they win, and it's like, well, I think maybe I'll try another one.
I
You
mean,
know.
the only one that's really been able to contest that was Brady.
Yeah.
And then I would even say, you hate him. I know he's the GOAT. It's hard to beat it. He's the GOAT. He's come back and win. And then you have people like, I'm trying to think of, Peyton Manning went out on top. You know, he wins. He bows out. Then you have someone like Brett Favre who, he should have left long before.
Yeah.
Stuck with Wrangler jeans.
Hey,
That's right.
I have great respect for Favre though, because even he has
Absolutely.
come out and
Favre.
said, Favre.
Brett Favre.
Brett Favre.
First of all, I respect his opinion on a lot of things, like his political opinions and other things.
Absolutely.
I do, but at least he is man enough to come out and say, "Yeah, I regret the way I left Green Bay." And he did say he won't say it's all his fault, but he did say that a lot of it was his fault. And I'm like, it takes a man to be able to
it
admit
does.
when
To
they've done
admit
something
when
wrong.
you're wrong.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
And that is something that I don't think Tarantino would do. But I also don't think Tarantino would make a bad last film. 'Cause I hate to say it, and it's like maybe he would see that as pressure, but I'm like, I know the work he puts into films before he ever
well,
sits
look at
down
like he
and,
said,
and
he's only
commits
has
to
10,
production.
like he's been making films for 30 years, but he's only made 10.
Exactly.
Like most directors would have twice that number already. You know,
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
make
but
they release a
every
film
one
like,
of them's a success.
Exactly.
It's
And every
like,
one of them
I'll
is
take 9
actually
good
good.
ones than
Yeah.
It's well
30 bad
written.
ones.
They're
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
all nominated. They're all at least looked at as being Oscar worthy. It's like
Well, he pulls stuff out of actors too.
Yeah.
That I mean, it's just
yeah.
like you got Brad Pitt and
Leonardo
and
DiCaprio.
Leonardo in the same movie, and they
Yep.
both get nominated for the same. I mean, they were both nominated for.
Once
one
Upon a
of
Time.
them. One of them got supporting, right? They weren't both nominated for best actor.
Brad
were they?
Pitt was supporting and Leo
Yes.
was,
Leo was- yeah.
But still, they
But
were both
exactly.
nominated.
Yeah.
absolutely.
crazy.
And the fact that you would get those two heavy hitters in a movie,
Mhm.
but neither one really upstages the other. And they're all it's a
good.
good movie.
good So movie.
It's a
good.
good movie. I know. I like
is.
and
It
that's
is
the
my
thing. Every
favorite.
time I talk about Tarantino, I'm like, I want to go watch his films.
Yeah.
Yep.
I love I love
Kill
Inglourious
Bill.
Bastards. I love
See,
Kill
that's my
Bill.
thing is
Django. I love Django.
and it may never happen, but
Hateful Eight is probably I think his weakest one.
No.
I think
Jackie
Hate-
Brown.
No, I love Jackie Brown.
See, I don't like Jackie
That-
Brown.
I like
I like
Jackie
it,
Brown.
but I think it's his weakest.
I wasn't a huge fan of Reservoir Dogs, but
like
I mean, you
Reservoir
got to
Dogs,
give him
yeah.
that's his first.
That
movie,
was the
so.
rumor that was going to be his 10th and
Oh,
final.
he said he did. No, he said
He's
he did
doing
think
another
about
Kill
it.
Bill.
Well, no.
No.
I heard he was doing another Kill
He was
Bill.
going to, but he never
talked
made
about-
it.
but it's not
And
gonna happen.
So that's not his final because 10.
He was talking about how he was going
He
to remake
said-
Reservoir Dogs.
He
and that was
said
gonna be his
he
10th
did
and final.
consider making his final film a remake of his first film, but then he realized that was a dumb idea. So
Yeah.
Good on him for
I'm
realizing
telling you,
that.
Kill
That's why I
Bill
see he doesn't
3
make it.
would be amazing.
But that's the thing is
if-
it would have to be
if,
another.
um,
He said like it was supposed to be 3 and 4, so he can't do that. Cause
Here's
it
the
would be
thing:
10.
if he comes out with that one after his 10th and say, "Well, really, this is a continuation,"
Yeah.
That's
so
true.
that's not really
Because
my
the first
11th
Kill
film.
Bill Volume
It's
1
only
and 2
one
was one
film.
movie that he ended up having to
Right,
split into
split.
2. So he could just say Kill Bill 3 and 4 were the
Or one
one
film.
movie
But
that
if,
he had to
but
split
if you
in
look at
two.
his collection, I think that's already done. I think he counts those as one film
Actually, I think you're right.
because it's Reservoir Dogs. You have Pulp Fiction,
Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown. You have to look up all the Tarantino films, but I don't think Kill Bill is counted as 2 films. I think it's counted as one.
Oh,
We can pull that up real quick. We can get
Let's-
into the Vices topic here in just a sec. I
I'm
just
telling you though, if the what's the woman's name, Veronica or Vivica?
Vivica A. Fox.
Yeah, if her
Yeah.
daughter came back
Yeah.
to go after Beatrix, that'd
Yeah.
be a
Perfect
great
setup.
movie.
Yep.
Perfect
Perfect
movie. She
setup.
said, like, if you ever feel sore about it or whatever, one day come and find me.
Yep.
That's what needs to happen.
And he's talked about that would be the premise.
So you got Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. I'm only counting it as one for now. until
Okay.
we see. Death Proof, Inglorious Bastards, Django Unchained,
I forgot
Hateful
about Death
Eight,
Proof.
and Once
I
Upon a
did too.
Time in Hollywood.
'Cause that was
so
him
it's
and
not-
So he
Robert
only
Rodriguez.
counts as he only
Yeah.
counts
Yeah.
Kill Bill as
As
one
one.
film. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
well, Death Proof was all him. 'Cause it was
And
part of
then
Grindhouse.
Brian-
Robert Rodriguez did the
Rodriguez
other
did
one.
the
for
other one.
he
Grindhouse.
did.
Yeah.
What was that one called again?
I don't remember. Death Proof was good. I didn't.
Death Proof was the one with the car driver with
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that was-
Kurt Russell.
Yes.
And then the other one was about zombies and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm
I gotta.
forgetting.
But I can't
It's got
remember
the
what it
girl
was
with the
called.
machine gun leg.
Hold on,
Yes.
let me
And I
click
can't
on it
remember the
here.
dag.
Rose McGowan.
Planet Terror.
That's
Planet
it, Planet
Terror.
Terror.
Yeah.
That was it. Yep.
Yeah.
But no, so yeah, I think with this being his 10th film, I'd be fine with him making it something we've never, again, like, I mean, Once Upon a Time was completely original. Before that was it Django? Or no, Hateful Eight was just before that, and then you had Django just before. Those are all original films, and honestly, I think that, truth be told,
Inglourious Bastards came after Django.
It was before.
it was before.
Was it before?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
before.
I didn't realize it was that old.
Yeah.
Inglorious, I think, was after Kill Bill 2. I think that was his
Yeah.
or actually, it was
It was Death
Grindhouse.
Proof and,
and
then
then
Inglorious
and then
Bastards.
Wow.
Inglorious
Okay.
Bastards.
Yeah.
But oh man, I love Inglorious Bastards.
And these
Hateful
are
Eight
just the
was just
ones
too
that
long.
that he directed.
I think that one's my favorite of his. Is
Mhm.
Inglorious Bastards.
Oh yeah.
That's my
I
favorite.
see. I like Once Upon a Time, but
Yep.
they're on par.
It's hard.
Just, it's
Yeah.
hard
I
to
mean,
choose. That's the thing. So, alrighty, we'll see what happens with old Tarantino. He's made a bigger
Jerome
name than his father,
Tarantino,
obviously.
no.
I think it's time, guys, that we get into
Yeah, I
our
think so.
vices
Is it?
topic.
Is it time?
Let's roll that open.
Okay.
I just left it on you guys the whole time because
Wow.
I was like, you know what? They're rocking out over there.
I was thinking, since Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 are considered one film, it would be kind of awesome if his final film was the Kill Bill sequel, but
yeah.
we'll see. I mean, we don't know.
It would be, but I'd be fine. Again,
Oh, yeah, I'd be fine with
I
anything.
think he could play it off as literally like he makes a 10th film that's completely original, and then he just says, "No, we can actually, we can make." I had to move a document.
Yeah, yeah, I
couldn't-
definitely
couldn't-
heard that.
Sorry, I couldn't hide it.
Killing me, Smalls.
hey,
Twice
sometimes you're
in
doing
one
a lot
show.
over here. Okay, I can't help it. I'm doing a lot.
Yep.
I'll
you
take
just,
that.
You just fell on the lava,
I did,
big time.
but you know what?
What
I
if
got
he
it
makes
in there.
his 10th film, and then he makes the Kill Bill sequel and say, no, this is still part of Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, so it's still only 10 films.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's oh,
He can
wow.
do whatever the hell
Okay,
he
he
wants.
could, yeah, he
So-
could do that.
I mean, he can make up any excuse he wants to make for why he's
and
doing
that's the thing.
it.
I think it'll literally be until his dying day.
We're back on the.
I know.
I
We're
know.
going to
The-
keep beating a dead horse.
I like
on.
Tarantino. Yeah, let's get into the
Let's get into our vices topic because, one thing we don't do here on the Red Moon podcast, like moving documents at the last minute, just
Right.
cut corners.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's
so-
something Tarantino would never do.
Never.
No.
Oh, yeah. How often do you cut corners? That's our topic tonight.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it, guys.
Mm.
How often do you cut
all the
corners?
time.
Any chance I get,
Really? That's not true.
I'll cut that corner right here, right now.
with a
Cut it
razor
right off.
knife. Oh!
I-
He hurt himself.
Ouch.
I won't say I cut corners any chance I get, but any chance I get to do something the easiest way possible. And I don't think of that necessarily as cutting corners, as is if I can find out a way to do it still the right way, but the easiest possible way. That's how I'm going to do it.
Well, that's
But-
thinking
but-
smarter, not
But I do
harder.
cut corners. Like, I'm not saying I never have or never will. I
Right.
definitely.
Yeah.
You know, we all have our days where we're like, I don't want to do that. So
Is
then
there
you
anything
just-
specific instead of being broad? Is there like a
See, that's the thing is I can never think of specifics like on the spot.
mine are
like-
chores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would say
Chores are
Yeah.
I cut
in
corners
general
all the time.
definitely chores.
See, I tend to cut corners on things that I don't have a lot of interest in.
Yeah.
So it's like my AV set up in the basement right now. Like
Oh, that's gonna be.
it's like I'm
pristine.
ordering cables. The cables are too short, and I'm having to. They're showing, so I'm having to order longer cables so I can hide them better. Like I'll go to extremes to make that not
Yeah.
look like I cut
A million
corners.
knows
That's what I
that
did with
too.
my
Right,
office.
and-
Yeah.
right. But if it's the dishes or if it's anything else like that, I just have no
Yeah.
interest in. Then I'll take the easiest road
Just throw them
possible.
straight in the dishwasher. You know, some of them don't get clean. It's like, well, they'll stay in the dishwasher for the next
Oh, hell,
round.
I'll just,
Oh, yeah.
that's it. I'll just run it again.
Yeah.
It's like such a waste of
but here's
water
the
and
thing.
soap. but
Yeah,
I'll just do
exactly.
it again.
It's-
I'm not getting that because I'm not cleaning that
See,
myself.
If
I've
it was
so
if
done
it was
that.
my mom, if I was still living with my parents, she'd be like, scrub the dish before you put it in there. It's like, no, because
No.
then
What's the point?
Yeah.
Hey, a dishwasher's supposed to be good enough to take care of that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, that's
it's
what
like
it's for.
like, look, I'm not gonna like try to wash it off before I put it in there because
Yeah.
then why am I putting it in there?
You know how many-
$700 appliance.
Exactly.
It should do it.
And
you
if
know
it-
how
if
many
it-
freaking damn Dawn dish liquid commercials I've seen where they're
Yes.
like, you don't have to pre-rinse.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Right.
well, then I'm trusting you.
Yeah.
I'm not-
that's probably what I get for getting my dishwasher fluid from the Dollar Tree.
hey, that's what I get for having a hot
it
point
works, so.
dishwasher.
A high point.
A hot point.
Oh, is it hot point?
Hot point.
High point. That's the cheap gun.
That's the cheap gun.
yeah. You don't want to cut
No.
curves on that.
You
cut
do not want to
corners on
cut
that.
corner on firearms.
Sorry, my dad used to say cut curves.
Cutting
Which
curves.
I don't know where he got that, but that's what
Yeah,
he's
how
like.
do you cut a curve? That just
A
makes
curve-
it
a
another
curve
curve.
is a corner. It's the same thing.
No, because a curve
That's
is
true.
rounded.
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
know.
That's what he used to always
I
say.
say if you cut a curve, you're just making it curvier.
I don't know. I don't know how he did it, but
Well, if you here's the thing about cutting corners, you end up with two more. Because if you cut a, yeah, I was just saying. You never heard that saying?
I've never heard
Oh
that.
yeah, no, yeah. It's like instead of one corner, now you have two.
That was
Yeah.
great.
I mean that was like
That was some
yeah,
wisdom
that
right
was
there.
biblical right
That
there.
was.
Yeah.
I mean that was like biblical wisdom.
How have
Solomon
we-
said that. If
how
you
have
cut
we never
corners,
heard that?
Thou end up with two.
It's like, now I'm thinking of like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
You chose
Poorly. I really like. I've never heard that.
Yeah,
phrase.
never heard it.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like
It's
that.
kind of the same thing as like you point one finger at somebody and you got three
Four
more.
pointing back
Pointing
at
back
you.
at you.
Well, it is four, but my thing is my thumb doesn't point.
doesn't-
It doesn't
no.
point back at me.
No.
Like,
I
I've
guess
always-
it depends on how you point.
But even if I'd have to hold my thumb like that to get
you
it
do
to
it
curve
like
back.
that, you got cerebral palsy. You're just like
Then you're gangster. Bang bang, bitches.
We got Tyrese. back. But no, I don't know. I don't cut corners too often when it comes to like, especially this stuff. I'm kind of
oh, we know.
like you said. I get kind of
You
anal
could do
about
that
it.
with an iPhone.
I
You
could.
don't need a $2,000 4K camera.
I did try. You can't do that.
Oh, you can't do it
No,
with an iPhone?
I tried. I tried to even take out these.
How do they
cameras, which
film
aren't that
movies
great.
with iPhones then?
Because those aren't live.
Oh.
Doing live production,
It takes money.
there's like, and
And
I
it
actually blame
takes-
Apple. Apple is a bunch of bullcrap. Their stupid
Mm-hmm.
lightning to HDMI is there's a delay because they
Garbage.
actually have to process the video. So it's like a second delay from the audio. It's terrible. Fix it, Apple.
I know.
Come on,
Just
you're
fix
literally
it.
on
the
you're
creators
on the,
of Final Cut,
yeah.
and they come up with
You're
that
on
crap.
the 12th iPhone.
They cut corners on it, is what they did.
They cut corners.
They made it in China.
Cutting
They
corners
made it more round.
with that slave labor.
That's cutting curves.
They cut curves on that.
You know, Disney doesn't want Slave One to have that name, but
indentured servitude.
What did she
she
just
knocked
do?
over Sean's plaque.
She knocked over my
Oh
major
my
award.
gosh!
Oh man! All I was saying is,
Fragile.
we're talking about cutting corners and slave labor. I bet the people that made those Legos were the slave labor Disney has in China, but they can't put slave on the box.
No.
I'm just saying.
Oh, he's got his.
Who do you
award
think's
back.
making those Legos?
It was not damaged,
Thank
Jacob.
you, Jacob.
It was. Sorry,
Jacob.
Edie got a hold.
Jacob Beres.
I definitely will agree. If it's something that I don't care too much.
Yeah, if I
about,
care about it,
control
I'm not
your
going to
she
cut
dog.
she
corners.
just gets right
Can
in your
you control
crotch,
your
doesn't
dog?
she?
She just
Basically, what
almost
we're
bit me.
saying is, if you ever ask us to do something and it's not something we're interested in,
Yeah.
expect a half-ass job.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Well, here, I was gonna say, especially when it does come to video projects that I've been hired on. This is why I don't do video services. And no, yeah, Ms. Barnes, if you're
Here's
watching,
the thing, though. When you
love
cut,
you,
when you
but
cut corners
when it
making
comes
some
to
of
those
these,
those cross country videos,
Yeah.
I got to be
You
honest.
film in Photo Magico and just let it go.
I
didn't
wish
ya?
I could have, and it was that easy.
but here's the thing.
when there's hundreds of photos,
God.
I
Even you
have
cutting
to-
corners on videos like that, though, the people that get them,
they have no clue.
because they still
No.
like because it's still better than the
Well, and
window
that's the
movie
thing.
maker job they
Right.
would have gotten somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. When I say
iMovie.
I cut
Yeah.
corners on that, what I really mean is no. I just come up with a simple like more
Yeah.
quicker process to handle it
Right.
and try to get it done quicker. But I'm not going to sit there and tweak every little thing and try to make sure that maybe this photo isn't used or this one's in the background slightly. Oh well, yeah, it would be something that they would never
Right.
ever look at and
Right.
critique. I'll critique it because I'm passionate about it, but I'll also say, okay, here's the reality of what I'm getting paid versus what time I can spend on it.
Right.
Because my time is money.
Right.
And that's how I feel about normal things that I cut corners on. It's like at the end of the day, like if it's something that you don't care about, it's like, is it really worth the attention to detail? Or is it just a waste of time?
I was just say I've cut corners putting my groceries up. I know I'm the only one there, and if
Yes.
I'm not gonna get into it later, I've put a whole if I have like a bag that's just canned goods, I just shove the whole bag in my cabinet and worry about it.
That's
There you
right.
go.
Exactly.
It's
Perfect
like
example.
That's right.
Yeah.
it's like, do I take them out of the bag? It's like I will when I go to cook them.
It's like me mowing grass.
Yep.
Dude, if I can get it with the riding lawnmower,
Yeah.
you better believe it.
Oh,
I'll
hell
get-
yes.
I'll get right up against the flower bed, right up against the
yeah.
fence. I'm
Oh,
not
no
getting
doubt.
that weed eater out unless I have to.
Same. Now I have this year taken
I'll
up
break
to
stuff,
edging,
run over stuff.
but I don't.
I need to do that.
I like edging, but I can't stand weed eating.
Mm.
I hate the weed eater, and because I can't get it in my drive. I live on a corner, so the driveway
You
or
can't
the
cut it.
it's just so long
Get
that
it.
I'm like I can't cut the
You
corner.
can't cut the corner.
I can't cut the corner on that.
Can't
Sorry,
cut it.
dad joke. Sorry.
It was good.
Can't cut the corner.
But I'm like, I do get to a point where it's like, I don't know. I also find that too is things that I used to cut corners on, I've now almost become like, I start to kind of get a little bit, anal about, and I'm just like, oh, I actually care about that now, and maybe I don't cut
You're
corners on
starting
it
to care about your yard.
a little bit,
Oh
Ooh.
man.
Ooh.
but not to the point where I'm gonna be like mulching
Calling
it and
Scots.
reseeding it. Yeah, I ain't doing that.
True green.
Yeah, I'll get out there and maybe fix my flower bed in the front because
Yeah.
it looks like garbage.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's like, as far as I just want my yard to look clean and cut and people to walk by and be like, oh, it's not a hobo that lives there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I used
get
to
that.
not care. Now I actually care.
That's the people that were like coming and charging their phones on your porch. That's what they thought. They were
Yeah.
just like, nobody lives here.
Yeah, I could get away with this. I'll just go over and use the water, too.
Take a bath in your water hose outside.
Get out of there. What are you doing? That's my water.
I can see that.
I didn't know anybody lived here.
yeah. Surprised it was still turned on.
But cutting corners, is it healthy?
Not when it
Final
comes to your
point,
health.
you
What
just-
about that?
You put all your laundry in a big bag, and then you just at the front when you're at the top of the steps, you just
It's like
Actually,
I
that
do that.
you probably shouldn't drink
He-
beer and smoke cigars.
that's different. Well, we talked about that, Vice. I think in moderation, that's fine. But I think you're right. When it comes to losing weight or actually getting healthy, you can't cut corners. 'cause
I'll
it's
take
just,
pills.
It's grueling.
If there was a pill that
Exactly.
would almost kill you but make you skinny, I would take it
Yeah.
rather than get on a treadmill.
There are steroids.
No. I don't want other things to get smaller.
I mean, it's even sad that it's like you have things like Noom and Weight Watchers, like things that actually make the meals for you,
Mm-hmm.
and you still would be like, oh, but I want that cheeseburger from McDonald's.
Yeah, that's cheaper.
I want them
Not
waffle fries.
anymore.
from
Cheeseburger.
There was a
Chick-fil-A.
time when I'd be like, I want that cheeseburger from McDonald's. Now I just like, I don't want it. I don't.
True.
Yeah, but now that you have your own place, you get you're just kind of like, I'll just go buy myself a steak and potatoes and make it myself. It's
No,
still
but
not
see, then
that
I have
good.
to cook.
I still don't want to do that. I just want better fast
I just
food.
don't want McDonald's. Yeah.
He's like,
bad.
I'll just get the steakhouse
Now-
to Grubhub.
Well, because
Yeah.
to be honest, fast food has cut corners. They
Yeah.
raise their prices and they like they
And
don't
the
even
quality
offer the
of the
full.
food
yeah.
is terrible.
The quality of the food
Yeah.
is terrible. These people want $15 an hour.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they don't
McDonald's
even
is
know how to make a
pathetic now.
hamburger.
I seen somebody post on Facebook like the cheese not even on the burger.
Yeah, it was
No.
like on the bun. I've seen that
Yep.
photo. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's like, and you want $15 an hour, and it shows this fillet of fish with the cheese sitting on
on
top.
top of
It's
the
sitting on
bun.
top of the bun.
It's like I didn't ask for it on the side or on top. I asked for
It's
it
like
in
they
the
opened the
sandwich.
box and the bun
Okay.
was already on there, so they were just like, screw it, just threw the cheese in there.
Yeah.
That ain't cutting corners. That's straight up retarded.
It's just it's laziness.
Yeah.
It's these people, they don't care. They don't want to be there. They blame the customers for coming in and ordering food, which is your job.
Yes.
Right.
Like
yeah.
they get mad at you. Like I was at a McDonald's the other day, and like the person taking my order literally just sounded
Sounded angry.
inconvenienced.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, I'm sorry that I'm making
Yeah.
you do what you
Right.
get paid to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you don't even want to do it. And then it's like you just sit there and get mad at me. And let alone you did cut corners. You went to McDonald's. See?
Oh.
You didn't want to go, but you went because sometimes
me
it's
and-
fast and convenient.
I
We went
rode-
after F9.
We went. We rode. Neither one of us had eaten dinner, and we did eat a bunch of junk at the theater, but that's not filling. It's
No.
popcorn. You,
Yep.
you poo it all out in 30 minutes.
Yeah. Popcorn
So-
and gobstoppers.
Yeah.
That's hey, and
No,
some
no,
snow
I
caps.
had Raisinets. It was partially healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
really.
No.
Not when they're covered.
They were
in
dark
chocolate.
chocolate covered.
It
See?
still doesn't matter.
Partially
I didn't
healthy.
even know you could get those. Where did you get those?
The Dollar Tree.
At the theater.
Sweet.
He bought them at the
Dark
theater.
chocolate, yeah.
AMC sells
Yeah.
those.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we went to this
It was
McDonald's, and Brandon's like, "Can we get the split into 2 orders?" And the guy it just literally, I think
took him
he
about a
he was
minute.
possessed for a minute because he was speaking in tongues. He was like, like he couldn't figure out, I guess, what to do about. Like, yeah, he did.
He cut corners in English.
And then finally he was like, "Okay, yeah, I can do that." And then Brandon orders his meal. And afterwards, I'm getting the exact same thing, but Brandon got a Diet Coke and I wanted a sweet tea. So literally, Brandon tells him the exact same order, but a sweet tea instead. Takes him like 5 minutes, and finally he goes, "All right, so you said the same order, but with a Coke?"
I was like, dude, it's not that hard,
It's
man.
like it's literally the same thing,
Yeah.
but a sweet tea.
It's not even like you have to memorize.
no,
it.
exactly.
It's like you just punched it in. You just punched in the same buttons, but it's sweet tea instead of Diet Coke.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all. And I will say, after I got it home, it was terrible.
It was
The
awful.
McChicken was cold.
bread
and
was hard.
nasty.
The
it-
fries were soggy.
It was one of those things. Like
Yeah.
that's what I hate. Is it's so. I'm gonna cut corners, and with my diet, which I only lost a pound this past week. I'm very disappointed.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
trying
the
to lose
McDonald's.
That's
I-
a dump. I mean,
it
that's
is.
a good poop.
It was a
right
good
there.
poop, but I think I should have had at least 2 or 3 good poops. You know, that's what I was hoping to lose. But the thing was, is I ate this terrible food that I knew was bad for me,
And it wasn't even.
and it wasn't
filling.
worth it.
It wasn't
It's not, and
satisfying.
isn't that
Yeah.
the worst? It's like, okay, here I am.
You crave it
not-
all day. You get it. You eat it, and you feel like crap.
Yep.
The McChicken was cold. The burger bun was hard. The fries were soggy. I was like, "What is this?" Like,
And I think that's the
That's
ultimate regret.
called getting McDonald's at 10 o'clock at night.
That's true. But it used to be that
It
you
shouldn't.
could.
You're
you
getting
didn't-
the
yeah.
stuff that's been
Well,
sitting there
actually,
all day,
They
probably.
shouldn't be open if they're not going to work all the
that's
same.
honestly what I
that's
think
pisses
happens
me
now
off.
is they don't want to do their job, so they just pre-cook a bunch of crap, and then when people order it, they just throw it in the bag, and it could have been sitting there for 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah,
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
no doubt. And the problem is this is exactly what happens in our own lives. Regret when we cut corners.
Yep.
That was the meaning of
I've
tonight's podcast.
never regretted cutting corners on my dishes or laundry.
You didn't?
No.
You've never pulled out unclean underwear
Yeah,
and
I
thought,
pulled
"Man,
out an unclean dish, and I was like, "Well, I'm going to cut another corner and put that right back in there." It's just an endless cycle, of dishes.
You just live like Keith / Tyrese over there. No regrets.
No regrets.
No regrets. Invincible.
Alrighty, guys. That's going to do it for this episode of the Red Moon Podcast. We want to thank everybody out there for listening to us on our show this evening. We always love entertaining you all, and we want to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all so much. As always, right there at the bottom of your screen, right there, like, share, subscribe. Click that bell icon. Get those
Oh, yeah?
notifications. We need all the help we can get out there.
Well, what if they want to talk to us?
Well, they can comment on all of our social.
Yeah.
Oh,
Red Moon Book,
on
Red
all
Moon
of
Tweet,
them?
Red Moon Pics. Search for Red Moon Productions and comment on our live feed
What
or our
if
past
what if
videos.
they're old school and they just want to send us something in the
Look.
mail, but not physically, like,
If they
like
got-
through the internet?
If
Like,
they've got
how do you
that
do that?
DSL connection and they really don't have a lot.
Windstream.
What if they got that? What if they
Windstream,
got that AOL dial-up?
They got that dial up. I think you know what they could do, Keith.
You've got mail.
I would say they should email us at RMPodcast at redmoonproductions.com.
Oh, you had a little bit of spit back in your throat.
I do. I
Yeah.
can feel it. It was waddling
He
in
cut
there.
corners on that one.
Yeah, he should have cleared his throat
RM
first.
Podcast at redmoonproductions.com.
Now, the only thing I could ask is maybe
Hold on.
No, I work with somebody that sounds like
That
that.
does that every day?
all day.
Yeah. It's like, I got to talk to someone on the phone.
gosh sakes, I would be like, dude, you need to call into Baptist and get a checkup.
Sounded like he was
It's
drowned
like,
in
how
a
many
gremlin.
how many packs of cigarettes do you smoke? Only 82 a day.
You got the guy next door and it's like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He wouldn't say that. He would sound way worse than that. He'd be like, only 82 a day.
It's like you get that little like that metal.
No, I was gonna say the
Only 82.
his battery goes dead. He's like,
I'm sorry. So, and then
Shake
you can't. And then you can't see him, and you can't hear. And he's just like,
Guys,
ah.
I
sorry.
think we're being very
done.
offensive
We're
right
done.
now. Very offensive.
They can email us
done.
and tell us how offensive we are.
At
True.
RM
RM
Podcast.
at Red Moon
At
Productions.
redmoonproductions.com.
Alrighty, guys, that is going to do it for this week's episode. Oh, until next time, I am one of your hosts, Brandon Davidson, alongside our normal new host,
Sean Sebastian.
and his device broke.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode. For more reviews, previous podcast shows, and everything Red Moon, visit our website, redmoonproductions.com. You can also like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for Red Moon Productions, LLC. We'll see you at the movies.